Chosen ones, have you ever felt like you're standing between two worlds? One filled with challenges that seem insurmountable doors that are firmly closed and old relationships that you just can't seem to untangle. And then there's another world one where everything seems possible, where you can feel a power inside you, growing stronger, preparing to emerge. But it's the waiting, the delays, and the constant struggles that hold you back, making you feel weary, like you're stuck in a cycle with no way out. Let me say this, you're not alone in feeling this way. We all go through seasons of waiting, of difficulty, where it feels like we've reached the limit of our strength. But it's in these very seasons that God is preparing you. Every challenge you're facing is part of a journey He has laid out for you from the very beginning. And today, I want you to realize that you're not here by chance. You stand on the threshold of a new life, one where victory is no longer out of reach. The change you've been waiting for is closer than you think. Chosen ones, let me begin by acknowledging what you've been through. I know the weight you carry, the burdens you've struggled to bear, and the seasons of hardship that have tested your endurance. Life has thrown its hardest punches, and you felt each blow. But do you understand that all these challenges, all these moments that have felt like setbacks are not random? They are not signs of failure, and they are certainly not punishments. Every difficulty you have faced has been carefully allowed by God for one very specific reason: to prepare you. That's right, every trial, every season of hardship is a part of your divine preparation, even when it doesn't make sense. It might feel like you're walking in the wilderness with no map, no clear path, but God is guiding you. This is a necessary part of your journey. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where nothing seemed to go right? Maybe it was a job that didn't work out, a relationship that fell apart, or even something within your own self that you just couldn't shake. You prayed, you hoped, but nothing seemed to change. It felt like all your efforts were in vain. It was in those moments that you were forced to confront your limits and ask the question, why is this happening to me? But here's the powerful truth, chosen ones. This is exactly where God wants you. This place of brokenness, this place of feeling like you're at the end of your rope, is not a place of defeat. It's a place of transition. It's the place where you are being shaped, molded, and refined into the person you are destined to be. And it's uncomfortable. You may feel like you've been stretched beyond measure, but it is in this stretching that you are being strengthened. We see this in the Bible time and time again. Look at the story of Joseph. He was thrown into a pit by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and imprisoned for something he didn't even do. It would have been easy for him to give up, to lose faith in the midst of such suffering. But Joseph knew deep down that his current struggle wasn't the end of his story. God was using his hardships to prepare him for the greatness that was to come. And what happened? In due time, Joseph rose to power second only to Pharaoh himself and saved an entire nation. Just like Joseph, you are being prepared for something bigger than you can see right now. Your struggles are not signs of abandonment, but steps in your spiritual training. They are not obstacles. They are opportunities for you to learn, grow, and become stronger. God has not forgotten you, nor has He turned His back on you. These trials are part of the divine blueprint He's been constructing for your life. There may have been times when you felt isolated, like you were walking through life alone with no one to help you. Maybe you've looked around and seen others succeeding while you're still struggling to make sense of your situation. But here's the thing, chosen one. You were never meant to walk this path alone. In fact, these moments of solitude are a vital part of your spiritual growth. They are not meant to isolate you permanently. Rather, they are moments when God is drawing closer to you than ever before. You see, when we are in our most difficult moments, we are more likely to hear God's voice. When we are at our lowest point, we are more attuned to His presence, more receptive to His guidance. It is when we are weak that His strength becomes most evident. This is why it is so important not to resist the hard seasons. Don't fight against the discomfort of being refined. Lean into it. Trust that God is doing something in you that will be revealed at just the right time. Perhaps you've also struggled with the feeling that you're not good enough, that you don't measure up to the expectations placed on you. Maybe you've doubted your worth or your ability to fulfill the purpose you feel deep within you. But here's the truth. You are more than enough, chosen one. The enemy may try to make you feel small, insignificant, and unworthy, but that's a lie. You are exactly who God created you to be, with all the gifts, talents, and potential needed to fulfill the calling on your life. When you are facing difficulty, remember that it's not about how strong you are, but about how strong God is. His strength is made perfect in our weakness. This is why even in your moments of struggle, you are more than capable of overcoming whatever comes your way. God is with you every step of the way, guiding you, empowering you, and showing you the way forward. And let's talk for a moment about the waiting, chosen one. Oh, the waiting. It's hard, isn't it? Waiting for a breakthrough, waiting for an answer, waiting for a sign that things will finally change. It feels like time is standing still, and yet nothing seems to move forward. But I want you to know that waiting is not wasted time. It is during the waiting that God works deeply in us. Think about the example of the Israelites in the desert. For 40 years they wandered, waiting for the promise of the land flowing with milk and honey. But those years in the wilderness were not wasted. They were preparing the Israelites to possess the land. They were learning lessons of trust, obedience, and patience. God was shaping them into the people they needed to be in order to step into the promises He had for them. You too are in a season of preparation. You may not see it now, but everything you are experiencing is part of the bigger picture. Every challenge, every trial, every season of waiting is building something in you that will prepare you for the greatness ahead. So don't despise the process. Don't rush through it. Embrace it, knowing that God is shaping you into the person who is fully capable of stepping into the calling He has for you. Finally, chosen one, I want to remind you that no struggle is ever in vain. Everything you've been through has a purpose. You're being molded into someone who will be able to handle the magnitude of the blessings and responsibilities that God is preparing for you. The trials you faced are not your end. They are the very means by which you are being prepared for your breakthrough. So hold fast. The fight you've been running from, the struggles you've been avoiding, are the very battles you were born to win. The battle is not against you, it's for you. God has equipped you with everything you need to come out victorious on the other side. You are stronger than you realize, and your victory is already on the way. Trust the process, chosen one, and know that your time to rise has come. Chosen ones, I know the waiting feels unbearable at times. It feels like you're standing still while the world around you moves forward. You've prayed, you've hoped, and you've waited for things to change, yet it seems like nothing is happening. The frustration can build up. The doubts creep in, and you begin to wonder if you'll ever reach the place you've been praying for. But I want you to hear me clearly. Waiting is not wasted time. In fact, it is during this waiting period that God does some of His deepest and most powerful work in your life. You see, the process of waiting is not just about waiting for your circumstances to change. It's about waiting on God, allowing Him to shape and refine you so that you are ready for the blessings He has in store for you. This time is like a hidden season of preparation, a season where God is strengthening your spirit, your faith, and your character. The waiting period is not a sign of being forgotten or ignored by God. In fact, it is a season where He is preparing you to walk in a destiny far greater than you could ever imagine. Think about the story of David. He was anointed as king when he was just a young shepherd boy. God had spoken a promise over his life, but for years, David had to wait. He was not instantly crowned king. Instead, he spent years running from King Saul, hiding in caves, and facing great trials. Those years in the wilderness were not wasted. During that time, God was preparing David's heart. He was teaching him the lessons of leadership, humility, and trust. He was building David's strength, and David came out of that wilderness stronger than ever before. David's story teaches us that God's timing is perfect. The wilderness is not where we stay forever. It's where we learn to trust God fully and rely on Him in every circumstance. The waiting is a refining fire. It may feel uncomfortable, even painful at times, but it's in that discomfort that God shapes us into the people we are meant to be. If we rush through this season, we miss out on the lessons that are meant to build the strength we need for what's ahead. I understand that this waiting can feel like a test of your faith. You might wonder if the promise God gave you will ever come true. You may feel like your dreams are slipping farther away, and that maybe, just maybe, they weren't meant for you after all. But here's the truth: God is never late, and He has not forgotten you. He sees you in your waiting, He knows the desires of your heart, and He is actively working in your life, even if you can't see it yet. There's a verse in Isaiah 40:31 that says, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." This verse reminds us that while we wait, God is renewing our strength. It's in the waiting that we become equipped to soar higher than we ever could on our own. The waiting season is not for nothing. It is essential to your growth. When you feel weak, when you feel like you can't take one more step, remember that this is the time to lean into God. He is strengthening you in ways you might not even recognize yet. The truth is, the strength you will need for the next season of your life is being developed right now in this moment of waiting. Think about a seed planted in the ground. It's buried unseen and under pressure, but beneath the surface it's growing, expanding, and developing roots. The seed doesn't see the growth happening, but it is there. In time, the seed breaks through the earth and begins to sprout, revealing the beauty that was being cultivated in secret. So it is with you, chosen one. God is working beneath the surface. You might not see the changes, but they are happening. And when it's time for you to step out, you will be fully ready to thrive in the purpose He's prepared for you. As you wait, God is also teaching you patience. We live in a world that craves instant results. We want things done quickly, and we want them done our way. But God's timing doesn't work like that. His timing is perfect. Waiting allows you to learn to trust in His timing, not your own. You are learning to let go of control and to trust that God knows exactly what He's doing. He sees the big picture, and while you might not understand why things are taking so long, He is working everything out for your good. I want to remind you, chosen one, that waiting doesn't mean standing still. While you wait, God is still moving. He is still opening doors, connecting people, and arranging circumstances in your favor. The waiting is a season of preparation and positioning. God is positioning you for greatness, and when the time comes, you will be fully prepared to step into the blessings He has for you. Look at the life of Jesus. He didn't start His ministry the moment He was born. There was a waiting period. He spent years growing in wisdom and stature, preparing for His mission. And when the time came, He stepped into His calling with confidence and power. The waiting wasn't wasted. It was God's perfect preparation for the mission He was destined to fulfill. So what can you do in this season of waiting? How can you make the most of this time? First, don't waste the waiting. Use this time to grow spiritually. Spend time in prayer, in worship, and in the Word of God. The more time you spend with God, the more you will understand His heart and His plans for you. Let this time be a season where your faith grows deeper, your trust in God becomes stronger, and your relationship with Him becomes more intimate. Second, remain faithful in the waiting. Don't give up just because things aren't happening on your timeline. Keep doing the right thing even when it feels like nothing is changing. Your faithfulness will not go unnoticed. God sees every step you take, every prayer you pray, and every act of obedience you make, no matter how small. Lastly, prepare for the breakthrough. Use this time to get ready for the blessings and opportunities that are coming your way. God is preparing you, and when the time comes, you will be ready to step into all that He has for you. You will have the strength, the faith, and the wisdom to handle the blessings that are on the horizon. Chosen ones, the waiting will not last forever. Your breakthrough is coming. God is working in ways you cannot see. And when the time is right, He will reveal His perfect plan for your life. Trust the process, trust the timing, and know that everything you've been waiting for is worth it. Chosen ones, there's something incredible that I need you to understand. Today, you were never meant to be ordinary. I know that there have been times in your life when you felt small, insignificant, or like you just don't fit in with the world around you, but I need you to hear this clearly. You are chosen. You are set apart. Your life has purpose, and that purpose is bigger than anything you can imagine. This is the moment where we step into the fullness of our identity in Christ. It's easy to feel lost in the world's expectations of who you should be, but I'm here to tell you that you were created for a greater purpose. You were designed for something far beyond what you see in the mirror, or what the world tells you is important. The people around you may not understand the depth of what you carry, but that doesn't make it any less real. You've spent so much time looking at your flaws, your past mistakes, your shortcomings, and feeling like they define you. You may have even asked yourself, how can I be chosen when I am so imperfect? Let me remind you that your imperfection is not a barrier to your destiny. It is the very thing that makes you perfectly positioned to carry out God's purpose. I want you to stop for a moment and think about everything you've been through. The struggles, the hardships, the moments where you felt like you couldn't go any further. Those moments weren't wasted. They were part of your shaping. They were part of your journey to uncover who you truly are and what you were truly created for. You might have thought for a long time that your challenges were just random obstacles, but I want to tell you that they were all stepping stones to your identity. The challenges you faced have been refining you, shaping your character, and preparing you for the greatness that is ahead. The deeper the struggle, the more glorious the purpose. God doesn't waste anything in your life, not a single tear, not a single heartache, not a single failure. They have all been used to refine you into the person you are today. It's easy to get lost in the chaos of everyday life, the demands of your job, the pressures of your relationships, the never-ending tasks that seem to pile up. But I want you to remember this. You are not defined by your job, your circumstances, or the opinions of others. You are defined by who God says you are. And what He says about you is powerful. You are chosen. You are loved. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. I know you've struggled with your identity, wondering if you're enough, but the truth is, you are more than enough. You are exactly who God needs for this time. You are equipped with everything you need to fulfill the purpose He has for your life. It's time to stop looking at your shortcomings and start looking at the power of God that is within you. Let me ask you something, chosen one. Have you ever experienced a moment where something deep inside you stirred and you knew you were made for something more? Maybe it was in a quiet moment, a passing thought, or a deep longing in your heart that you couldn't explain. You might have pushed it aside, but it never fully went away. That's your calling speaking to you deep within. It's the Holy Spirit reminding you that there's more to your life than what meets the eye. You were not created to blend in or settle for mediocrity. You were made to stand out, to lead, to change the world. The dreams in your heart, the desires for something greater, those are not just wishes. They are God-given visions of what your life is meant to look like. And I need you to hear this. The time to walk in your true identity has come. No more hiding. No more dimming your light to make others feel comfortable. You were made to shine, but stepping into your true identity requires something crucial: courage. It takes courage to be who you really are, to stop pretending to be someone you're not. It's easy to hide behind the mask of what others expect you to be, to fit into the mold of what society says is acceptable. But God has called you to be different. He has called you to stand tall in your unique gifts and talents and to use them for His glory. I know that it's not always easy. It's hard to embrace who you truly are when the world tries to tell you otherwise. There's pressure to conform, to be like everyone else, to follow the crowd. But you were never meant to follow the crowd. You were created to lead. You were created to inspire others with the way you live your life, with the way you love, with the way you walk in your calling. It's time to stop running from who you were made to be. You are not too much. You are not too loud. You are not too different. You are exactly what this world needs. The world needs your light, your courage, your authenticity. Don't hide it. Don't shrink back. Step forward boldly, knowing that God is with you and He has equipped you for this moment. You may be wondering, what if I fail? What if I'm not enough? But let me tell you, chosen one, God does not call the equipped. He equips the called. You don't have to have everything figured out before you take the first step. You don't have to have all the answers. What you need is a willing heart and the faith to trust God, even when the path ahead seems unclear. The enemy wants you to believe that you're not enough, that you can't fulfill the purpose God has placed on your life. He wants to convince you that your dreams are too big, too bold, too impossible. But I'm here to tell you that your dreams are a reflection of the greatness God has already placed inside you. You are more than capable of stepping into your calling. You are more than enough, and God has already equipped you with everything you need to succeed. But there is one more thing you need to do, chosen one. You need to believe in yourself. You need to stop doubting your worth and start seeing yourself the way God sees you. You need to look in the mirror and say, I am chosen. I am loved. I am equipped for this purpose. You need to speak life over yourself and declare that you will not shrink back or be held back anymore. You will rise up and you will walk in your true identity. So today, I want to encourage you to step into that identity. Stop hiding. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The time is now. The world is waiting for you to step into the fullness of who you were created to be. And when you do, you will discover a strength and power within yourself that you never knew existed. You were made for this. You were born for this. This is your time, chosen one. Step into your true identity and watch as God uses you to accomplish great things for His kingdom. The best is yet to come. Chosen ones, have you ever felt like you're running out of time? Maybe you've watched the clock tick away, counting the years, the months, the days, and wondering if you're on the right path. Perhaps you've questioned whether you've missed your opportunity or if God's plan is taking longer than you anticipated. The waiting has stretched on, and it feels like the world is moving forward while you're stuck in the same place. But hear this, chosen one. God's timing is always perfect, and His plan for you is unfolding exactly as it should. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to become consumed with the pressure of time. We see others around us achieving their goals, starting their families, advancing in their careers, and it can be tempting to compare ourselves to them. We ask ourselves, why hasn't it happened for me yet? What's taking so long? But I want to remind you, chosen one, that God is not bound by the same limitations of time that we are. His understanding of time is eternal, and He sees the full picture, the beginning, the middle, and the end. What may seem like a delay to you is actually a moment where God is preparing you for something greater. Let's look at the life of Abraham. God promised him that he would become the father of many nations. But Abraham didn't receive that promise right away. He was 75 years old when God spoke to him, and his wife Sarah was barren. They waited and waited for years. In fact, it wasn't until Abraham was 100 years old and Sarah was 90 that they finally had a child. Isaac, the child through whom the promise would be fulfilled. God's timing may not have been Abraham's timing, but it was perfect. The delay was not a sign that God had forgotten him. It was part of the divine process of preparation. We live in a society that often values immediate results. We want things now, the job, the relationship, the success, and we want it yesterday. But when we're walking with God, we need to learn to trust in His perfect timing. There's a reason that the things you've been praying for haven't come to pass yet. It's not that God is punishing you or withholding good things from you. In fact, He is preparing you for what's ahead. God knows exactly when the right time will come. He understands the exact moment when you will be ready to receive His blessing. You may think you're ready now, but God knows that there's still some refining, some growing, some shaping that needs to take place before you can step into the fullness of what He has for you. His timing is not just about when things happen, but about you being ready to handle what's about to unfold. The delay in your life might be the greatest gift you've ever received. I know that sounds counterintuitive, especially when you feel like time is slipping away, but in God's economy, delay does not mean denial. Every season of waiting is an opportunity for growth. And in the waiting, God is working in your heart, working in your mind, working in your circumstances, so that when the moment arrives, you will be able to fully step into what He has planned for you. I know that the waiting can feel heavy, it can feel frustrating, and it can make you question whether you're ever going to see the promises fulfilled. But trust me when I say this, the time will come, and it will be exactly when you need it to be. God is not forgotten you. You haven't missed your moment. He is preparing you for something bigger than you can imagine, and when the time is right, He will bring it to pass. When we talk about trusting in God's timing, we are also talking about trusting in His sovereignty, the fact that He is in control of everything. There's a verse in Jeremiah 29:11 that says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." These words remind us that God has a plan for our lives, and it is a good plan. Even when things don't make sense, even when the waiting feels unbearable, we can rest in the truth that God is sovereign and His plan for us is filled with hope. His sovereignty means that nothing in your life is accidental. Every twist and turn, every high and low, every delay, and every detour, they are all part of His divine plan. God sees the end from the beginning, and He is orchestrating everything in your life with purpose. Even the painful moments, the moments when you felt abandoned, when things didn't go your way, were allowed for your growth and refinement. Remember the story of Joseph. He was sold into slavery by his own brothers, thrown into prison on false charges, and forgotten by those he helped. But through all of this, God was working behind the scenes. Every hardship Joseph faced was part of the plan to elevate him to a place of authority where he would ultimately save his family and an entire nation. Joseph's journey was long and painful, but he trusted that God was with him, and in the end, God's purpose for his life was fulfilled. This is a powerful reminder that God's sovereignty is at work even when we can't see it. He is in control, and He is leading you exactly where you need to go. Trust that every part of your journey is part of a bigger story, and God will never leave you nor forsake you along the way. So what is the purpose of waiting? Why does it take so long for some prayers to be answered? The answer is that waiting is a tool God uses to shape us and mold us into the person we are meant to become. Waiting is not passive. It is active preparation. During this time, you are being refined. You are learning how to lean into God's presence. You are learning how to trust Him fully without trying to control the outcome. You are learning that His plans are higher than your plans, and His timing is better than your own. God uses waiting to deepen your faith. It is in the waiting that you learn to rely on Him, to trust in His goodness, and to understand that He is always with you, even when it feels like nothing is happening. The waiting season may feel like a test, but it is actually a season of preparation where God is making sure you are spiritually and emotionally ready to receive His promises. Chosen ones. God's perfect timing is not something to fear. It is a gift. It is the assurance that you are not alone, that He has not forgotten about you, and that He is actively working in your life even when you can't see it. Trust in the process and trust in His sovereignty. When the time comes, you will be ready. The door will open and you will step into the blessings that God has prepared for you exactly at the right time. So keep moving forward. Keep trusting. Keep waiting. God is working behind the scenes, and His perfect timing is unfolding in your life right now. Your breakthrough is coming, and when it arrives, you will know that it was worth every moment of waiting. Chosen ones, there's a deeper truth I need you to embrace today. The moment you've been waiting for, the breakthrough you've been longing for, is closer than you realize. But the most important thing to understand in this moment is this: you are not simply waiting for your circumstances to change. You are waiting for your perspective to shift. You are waiting for the moment when everything you've learned, everything you've endured, and everything you've prayed for aligns with the purpose God has been preparing you for. This is not just a waiting period. This is a transformative season. You see, the key to stepping into your divine purpose lies in your ability to shift your mindset. It's in your ability to stop seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances and start seeing yourself as the chosen instrument of God's will. This shift is not just about waiting for external things to change, it's about embracing the power of transformation within you. It's about realizing that you are the one who has to change first before the world around you can align with the destiny God has planned for you. The world may have tried to tell you who you should be, what you should want, and how you should live. Society, your family, your friends, they may have placed expectations on you, told you that you needed to fit into certain molds in order to be loved, accepted, or successful. And maybe you tried to live up to those expectations. You tried to be the person everyone else wanted you to be. You played the game, you followed the rules, but now you're realizing that the person you were trying to become was never meant to be you. The world didn't create you, God did. The reason you felt so out of place, so disconnected at times, is because you've been trying to live out someone else's vision for your life. But now God is calling you to something higher, to a purpose that is uniquely yours. And in order to step into that purpose, you must first see yourself the way God sees you. I understand that it's not easy. It's not easy to break free from the pressures of the world, the expectations of others, and the limitations you've placed on yourself. It's not easy to say no to what's familiar and embrace the unknown. But chosen one, I'm here to tell you that the time has come for you to embrace your true identity. This is the moment when you have to stop hiding. You have to stop pretending. You have to stop shrinking yourself to fit into the boxes others have created for you. You are a child of God, and you were created for greatness. Your identity is not defined by your mistakes, your failures, or even your past. It is defined by who God says you are, and He calls you His masterpiece, His beloved, His chosen vessel. You have been chosen for a purpose that is greater than anything you could have imagined. The struggles you've faced, the rejection you've experienced, and the heartache you've endured, they are all part of God's plan to prepare you for this moment. Your past is not something to be ashamed of. It's a testimony of how God has been faithful in your life. Every hardship, every trial has shaped you into the person you are today, and that person is ready to step into the fullness of their purpose. But here's the thing, you have to believe it. You have to believe that you are who God says you are. You have to believe that the purpose He's placed inside you is real. And you have to believe that no matter what the world says, no matter what others think, you are enough. It's time to stop hiding from your calling. It's time to stop running from the person you were created to be. The fight you've been running from is the very battle you were born to win, and God has been equipping you for this moment all along. You might not feel ready. You might not feel equipped. But remember, God doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called. You are exactly what God needs in this moment. Every talent, every gift, every experience you've had has been placed inside you for a reason. Your life has purpose, chosen one, and the world needs you to rise up and walk in it. I know it's easy to get discouraged. You've probably wondered at times if you missed your chance, if your time has passed, if you're too late to step into what God has for you. But I want to remind you of something powerful. God's timing is perfect. You may feel like you're running out of time, but God is not bound by time. He sees everything past, present, and future, and He knows exactly when you are ready to step into the fullness of your destiny. The delays you've experienced have not been because of your inadequacy or God's failure to act. The delays have been because God is preparing you, shaping you, refining you, and aligning you with His perfect plan. When the time is right, the door will open and you will walk through it into the next chapter of your life. You will step into the calling that was placed on your life long before you were born. And when you step into that calling, you will look back at all the waiting and all the struggles, and you will see how every single thing was necessary to bring you to this moment. Chosen one, the real fight is not against the obstacles in your path. The real fight is against the lie that you are not enough. The real fight is against the fear and doubt that try to tell you that you are unworthy, that you are incapable, that you are not meant for greatness. But I want you to understand something today. Those lies are not true. You were born to win. You were born to overcome. You were born to fulfill a purpose that is far greater than you can imagine. And the moment you stop running from who you are and start embracing who God has created you to be, that's when everything changes. So, chosen one, it's time to stop looking back at what could have been or what should have been. It's time to step forward in faith and trust that God has already prepared the way for you. The fight you've been running from is the fight that will lead you to your destiny. And you are more than equipped to win it. Embrace the fight, embrace the purpose, and step into the life you were always meant to live.